Do the Wizards have one of the best young cores in the NBA? Some people think so. And then we're going to react to last night's loss versus the 76ers. Come on, join us next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott, aka BScott, and my guy Abdullah, aka AB. And we are both credentialed members of the NBA media and your hosts here at Locked On Wizards. So, like I said, big question tonight, AB. Do the Wizards have one of the best young cores in the NBA? Bob Carrington and Keyshawn George do think so. So we're going to go over that. And then we're going to react to last night's loss versus 76ers. We had some guys that dropped some points on us, and I don't even know who they are, man. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to round this thing out like we always do. So, again, appreciate everybody rock with your boys tonight, man. So let's get into it. The subject of tonight's video is actually based off comments from last night's press conference, man. And I asked a question to Bob Carrington and Keyshawn George, and I asked them straight up. I said, do you guys view yourselves as the best young core in the NBA? And he said yes, and it's not even close. So we're gonna look at that, AB. And like I said, we're gonna look at two other examples. We're gonna look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, which obviously we are replicating their process and how they're built, and the Houston Rockets. And obviously, they're both of those teams are in different, different eras, I guess, different parts of their process. But AB, I'm gonna ask you, looking at the Washington Wizards, year 2 of a rebuild, 2 drafts down under the general manager Will Dawkins. Is this the best young core in the NBA?
I think so. And again, we can be biased because we're Locked On Wizards. But if you look at it, you hit on all 3 draft picks in a weak draft class, consensus weak draft class. With all this draft capital, pick swap, second-round picks coming up, you don't think Will Dawkins is going to hit for the foreseeable future? And again, Keyshawn George stepping up big time throughout all the season, being that sniper, being a lockdown defender, getting – and I forgot who was the defender that he was playing defense with someone locking him up, and he got pushed. That's how aggressive he is, and that's what we love to see out of Miami. Shout out to the ACC. Bob Carrington dropping a career high the other night. Alex Sarr getting better every night. What other team like the Wizards right now has this type of situation? And so long we haven't seen where they actually have young guys. There's a youth movement. And again, I keep harping on it. Weak draft class. A lot of people were saying the Wizards would be lucky if Alex Sarr even pans out because people are calling him a bust after 5 summer league games, which to me is still absurd. So for the Wizards, and I just mentioned those guys. Tristan Vucevic coming off a career high night. Our boy 24-6. That's what we love to see. I get it. It's losses. But look at the small things. They're going to add up when this team starts contending.
I agree 100%. And when you talk about young core, there's 2 things I want to kind of bring up. Number one, you can compare them to OKC and Houston, but I don't think that's a fair comparison because both Houston and Oklahoma City, they're in different part of the process, man. I mean, Oklahoma City is the number 1 seed, and Houston is not far behind. So they're, like I said, they're later on in their process. But if you look at the components of the team, especially Oklahoma City, you see what they're trying to do in DC. This is one heck of a foundation. Every house needs to be built upon a foundation, and is this team a final product? No. Are they done, building? No. Is Will Dawkins done cooking? Absolutely not. I mean, 5 draft picks, 2 drafts, right? You can argue that they hit on all 5. Now, are they finished products as we all say? No. I mean, but they've shown a lot in a relatively small amount of time, and they're still very raw, especially when you look at Alex Sarr and Bilal Coulibaly, because both of them are defensive-minded players where, you could argue Alex Sarr is probably a lot more polished offensively than Bilal is, but Bilal just needs a lot more arc in that 3-point shot. And like I said, I saw him shoot around last night against the Sixers, man, and he's got a little more arc. He was hitting them. And I get it as a shoot around. You ain't got somebody with their hand in your face, but I think he will respond. I think he will find that shot. I think he will find that consistency, and I think he will break out in year 3. Tristan Vucevic, 7-footer who can stretch the floor. We got 2 7-footers who fit the modern-day mold of what the NBA sees in a center. 7-footers. They can stretch the floor from 3 at mid-range. They can protect the paint. I mean, we got that. 2 centers and 7-footers who they're swift in transition. They're lob threats. The list goes on. We hit an Alex Sarr and we hit in Tristan Vucevic. And anybody thinks differently, I might have to ask what's in your cup, bro. I mean, Bob Carrington, dog. Keyshawn George, dog. I mean, both of them, man. I mean, they're dogs. We
But
need
yeah, I
more
forgot
dogs.
to mention a live stream.
Yeah.
I don't know how I forgot this. Bub Carrington making Tyrese Halliburton touch earth. I get it, they lost, but hitting that three, I don't know if you saw that highlight.
Yeah.
That was sweet. Oh my goodness.
Yo, Bub had that brother on skates, man. Like, come on now, where the ice at? I'm just saying, Bub is a dog. Bub is going, when it's all said and done, is a two-way star, in my opinion. He can defend. He brings intensity. I mean, he brings the energy on both ends of the court, man. He can shoot from three, he can shoot from mid-range. Once he adds that third level, being able to penetrate the lane and be able to finish consistently, Bub is going to be the real deal, in my opinion, man. And that's what I'm saying. You got how many guys on this roster as far as young guys who have star potential? And we're just talking about the 5 draft picks right now, AB. And then Keyshawn Jordan, 24th overall. Come on now. Tommy ain't making that pick. I mean, Keyshawn Jordan is a dog. He's a sniper. I mean, he's 6'8" with guard skills. He can be that point forward, that secondary ball handler. Now, AJ Johnson, Kobe Jones. A couple guys are going to be some under the radar, but probably 2 of the best moves made at the deadline, right? They're going to be solid role players down the line. And then you look at Jordan Boo, still fits the timeline. Sadiq Bey, Corey Kispert. I mean, you got the veteran. I mean, and so what I'm saying is the foundation is solid. Once you add a Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, Ace Belly, right? Once you, in year 4 or 5, add that one significant piece, because we're going to have the draft capital to do so, this team is going to be one of the best young, dangerous squads in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be the Washington Wizards. Teams like Orlando, to me, is one of those teams on the rise. The Wizards, year 3, I definitely think they should look to win 20 to 25 games. But you're going to see progression. So, AB, is that kind of the target for next year? Because you want to see progression, right? So, is 20 to 25 what you're looking for? Are you thinking they may hit that 500 mark?
I think, well, man, I don't know about that being year 3, but I think 30 would be a great if they get around 30. 25 for me is ideal. 25 to 30 makes the most sense. Just, again, just improvement. I get 17 this year so far. Hopefully, even maybe one more. Last year, 15. So, it's improvement. But, again, it's not just that. Also, winning is all, but you have to win on the defense side of the ball. Rebounding. We can't get killed off the glass every single night. It's going to be frustrating to see that it's the same common theme in year 3. So I think with this youth movement, if they can land that top 3 pick, there's no question and doubt that they'll be having the best youth movement and the young core in the NBA.
I agree. So let's take a look at OKC real quick, and you can kind of see similarities. And I'm not saying that the said players on the same level, but I think that there's a lot of similarities. Okay, so looking at OKC, the most obvious move is SGA, right? So they acquired him from the LA Clippers, sending Paul George to the City of Angels, right? So SGA, what move can you kind of compare to that? Jordan Poole coming on from Golden State. I mean, I'm saying, am I saying they're the same player? No, I mean, SGA's in MVP talks. Jordan Poole ain't there yet, but there's similarities. That was that one good trade. I mean, like I said, I think that Will Dawkins targeted Jordan Poole in that move, acquiring him from Golden State, because if you look at JP13, man, you have a guy who is a fringe all-star if you're a talent evaluator, you got a guy that's right on the fence to be an all-star, who's still young, who's still be molded, and is going to be a star in this league, in my opinion. So, looking at some other moves, I mean, Jalen Williams, I'm going to ask you, AB, looking at Jalen Williams, who would you compare Jalen Williams to as far as current young player on the Wizards, real quick?
For me, I say Keyshawn George, just because the two-way ability. I think they kind of mesh well. And again, Keyshawn, I can't wait to see what this brother can do. I talked about Sar and Carrington a lot, but I think he's just with his ability to shoot it from 3, and if he can start getting better at taking to the rack offensively and defensively, he's already there with his size. I mean, the sky's the limit for him as well.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. Like I said, when you look at OKC, you see the blueprint of what Will Dawkins is trying to do and how he's trying to build his team. I mean, list goes on. Chet Holmgren. And obviously, Chet Holmgren at this point is a little more polished offensively, but you see the similarities with the role that Alex Sarr has, being that 7-footer who can stretch the floor from 3 and midway, or mid-range, good Lord, midway. A guy who can be that rim protector. I mean, you see similarities. You know what I'm saying? That the model is OKC. If you want to go deeper, Casey Wallace. I would compare Bub Carrington to Casey Wallace, man. A combo guard who can be that floor general, but who can also be that 2 guard, who can definitely be a microwave. So you kind of see where I'm coming from. Is that, I think to a certain degree it is kind of unrealistic or unfair to kind of judge the Wizards in their in current state to what the Oklahoma City is, because it's 2 different stages of the process for both teams, man. It's easy to say, oh, yeah, they're not on the same level, because they're not on the same level. I mean, when you look at teams who have just started rebuilding within the last couple of years, the best core is the Washington Wizards. It's not even close. And Bub and Keyshawn are right. And like I said, I'll say this, man. I mentioned weak draft. Keyshawn George had gave me a look like nah, and they mentioned it. They don't view, they don't like the whole notion of weak draft. And really, if you think about it, there's a lot of talent came out of this draft. I mean, look at the rookie of the year. This the top 5. I mean, Zach Edey, Jalen Wells, Risa Shea, Stephon Castle, Alex Sarr. I mean, I think that Bub Carrington and
Jared McCain too, B.
Yep, Jared McCain. I mean, there's a lot of talent that came out of this draft. So I think we need to go ahead and get rid of that label as a weak draft because there's a lot of talent. I mean, is it the same draft as LeBron or Carmelo? Nah, man, let's be real. But I mean, that's a bar that not many drafts are going to be able to attain to, man. Let's be real. So I'm going to say yes. If you look at young teams who have started rebuilding within the last 2 to 3 years, this is the best young core in the NBA. Now, if you want to compare them to OKC and Houston, then obviously, they're a lot more polished and they're in a different part of their process. So I think that's unrealistic and unfair to compare to them, those teams, because we're not in the same process. We're going into year 3, which OKC ain't going into year 3 rebuild, man. I mean, to me, they're the favorite coming out of the West. And a lot of people are saying Lakers, but I think OKC has a real shot at going to the finals this year, man. So, yeah, man, I agree 100% with you, AB. I think that this is the best young core in the NBA if you look at the perspective that we had tonight. So, all right, everybody, we're going to look at we're going to get into our reactions from last night's loss and the home finale against the Philadelphia 76ers. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by TurboTax. This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back this year. And then waiting, wondering, and worrying some more. Oh, now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. Not tomorrow. Come on now, today. Stay with me now. An expert who gives you your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return, while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your day. An expert who will find your every deduction possible and file every form, every investment, with everything 100% accuracy. All so you can get the most money back guaranteed. No waiting, no wondering, no worries. Now, this is Taxes. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Tonight's episode is also brought to you by Prizepicks. Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prizepicks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. Because with Prizepicks, you pick more or less on at least 2 player projections. And if you're right, you can win up 1,000 times your cash. Good Lord. Oh, my Lord. I mean, 1,000 times your cash? Yes, sir. That is not a typo. 1,000 times your cash, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs. Prizepicks keeps every game exciting, especially if it's with the New York Yankees with them torpedo bats. I'm just saying. So, look, build your $5 lineup, man. And like I said, you can get $50 instantly when you do so. A lot of good reasons to get in on the actual Prizepicks because, like I said, you got baseball season in full swing, man. It's April. It's that time of the year, baby. You got the last week of the NBA season. You did have the NCAA tournament, but look, it has concluded. So, like I said, a lot of opportunities in baseball to make some good money, man, especially on a weekly basis. So, look, do yourself a favor. Download the app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prizepicks. Run your game. All right, AB. As you know, the Washington Wizards did lose to the Philadelphia 76ers last night, which was the home finale, last home game of the year. 2 games left. Friday night against Chicago, and then Sunday night at South Beach, man. So what were your main reactions from last night, man? And who kind of stood out to you last night?
I'll say one thing. We talked about it before the stream. There's a lot of players in the Sixers I just do not know. It's like that roster like in 2K where you sim 10 years down the line. It's just names that, like, how do you even come up with that? But Quentin Grimes, I think he's a stud. They got him in this deal. But talking about the Wizards, I mentioned already, TV, 24-6, career high night. I'm telling you, man, when he's given the opportunity, he is taking advantage of it, and he's competing for that center position and potentially maybe even play that 4 if they have so much confidence in Sarr playing the 5. Martin, 4 steals. Are you freaking kidding me? Again, another stud from the trade deadline. The young core, Bub Carrington with 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Keyshawn with 13. And Justin Champagnie, again, a double-double, 14 points, 12 rebounds. A guy at his size getting a double-double, it just goes to show that even in a losing season, when you're not making the playoffs, we're nowhere even near the playoffs, you're still going out there. And I get it, you lost, you're at home to the Sixers team, was also tanking, essentially. You're still going out there and competing. It's a competitive game. But for the Sixers, it was just a lot of guys I just didn't know that were just going out there hooping.
Oh yeah, I'm with you, man. Like I said, we were actually like chopping it up in the media room, man. Like somehow did they do tryouts on the sidewalk before they came in, man? Because I couldn't recognize half the guys in the team. And like I said, between the two teams, there were 19 players out. I mean, a lot of injuries, man. So when you look at the list of some of these players, at first you see Bagley, it's like, okay, I didn't know Marvin. How did Marvin Bagley? No, it's Marcus Bagley. I'm just saying. I know Adam Bona is a rookie, so he's not bad. I know he had that one dunk on Keyshawn last night, but I mean, there's some names you recognize. I mean, obviously Jared Butler, but Quentin Grimes is a good talent. Lonnie Walker, the fourth man. But Alex Reese, Colin Castleton, Jeff Doughton Jr. Yes, sir. But Ricky Council is another guy I recognize. So yeah, it was definitely kind of a borderline G League game, but it's all good because a lot of injuries, man. And we know what it is. Both teams are lottery bound, and I think that right now, as it stands, guys, there are 3 teams. They're in the running for the number 1 overall pick, and the Wizards are definitely in one of those teams. 14% chance out of those 3 teams. So out of those 3 teams, man, every team has a 14% chance. So we are guaranteed the top 3. Let that sink in. We are guaranteed to walk away with Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, or Ace Bailey. So we're gonna grab a couple more guys in this draft, and we're gonna be a young, dangerous team. But get back to last night now. All right. Last night, yeah, I mean, it was just one of those nights, man. We gotta play 4 quarters. The Wizards they were definitely, down by only 3 at the half, man. But that second half, Philadelphia ran away with it, man. And looking at the Wizards, man, who really stood out to me, Tristan Vucevic, man. I mean, again, he produces when you give him minutes. I mean, 7-footer. And like I said, most people get it. Like few people, they don't get it for some reason. They think it's like bad to call him the backup center of the future. But I mean, it is what he is. I mean, like I said, in like championships are won by role players. I mean, you have 2 7-footers who both of them can stretch the floor. They're lob threats. They can defend. So it's not a diss. So you know what it is, AB. But like I said, Vucevic has had a great year this season, man. Looking at what he provided last night, 7 for 13. So he's been an efficient player. 3 for 4 from 3, 24 points last night, leading all Wizards. So, and then other people that just really stood out. Obviously, Bo Carrington and Keyshawn George did their thing, man. Justin Shimpany, somebody else I chopped it with last night. Shout out to JC, man, my guy JC. Shout out to him. Like I said, another guy you don't hear a lot about Justin Shimpany. Let's talk about JC real quick, man. How motivated, but how excited are you that when you see guys like JC who worked his butt off from the G League, 2-way contract, now NBA standard contract, come out and play at a level where you kind of inquisitive whether he should be a starter or not? I mean, is that not a sign for the future? I mean, what are you thinking, AB?
Oh, definitely. Again, and a friendly team contract as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, once they get paid, and whether it's the NBA or other sports, they just tend to stay put and settle and not improve their game. But Justin Champagny even played better after that contract, a double-double machine. And again, at his size, went out there playing with heart. It just goes to show once this team starts winning, he's going to be a big part of it, the reason why they're that good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, it goes back to this point. This is the best locker room I've seen in DC in a long time. Very long time. Very long time. I mean, even the John Wall era, they always had something going on. I mean, it was, there was always, rumors that him and Bill were always at it. And, people like to make things bigger than they are. So you don't know how much you can really, you know what I mean? But this, as far as just general culture, just chemistry, this is the best locker room I've seen in a long time, probably since the John Wall era. I mean, they enjoy coming to work. They enjoy playing with each other, man. When you look at last night, everybody ate. You see the glimpses with this team. Keyshawn George did his thing. I mean, defensively, I told you, man, when I was looking at the scouting report and looking at him coming out of the draft, I mean, I knew he was a sniper, but I mean, defensively, I mean, AB, is that his best attribute among a lot of good attributes in your eyes?
Definitely, especially since in DC, the D hasn't really been apparent for so long. So I think eventually when they get to that point of being that nasty defensive team,
yeah,
I think he'll be a big reason why. And again, it's just all about being patient, taking time, and going to year 3. I think there's going to be a big improvement in a lot of categories, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree 100%. I mean, we're in a good spot. And when you look at last night's result, yeah, I get it. We lost, and we lost to a Sixers team, which I thought we were going to win that game, man. I mean, we got almost 20 guys out in both teams. I mean, you got guys who were AI generated on 2K. I would say, I just thought we had a chance, but you see it with this team, man. Even in a loss, you see it with this team because, if you really look at some comments made, outside of my question, but this, I forget who it was. I believe it was Joshua Valdez, man. Shout out to my guy Josh, man. But asking Bub just, what is the message to the fan base? And Buck Carrington last night said, "Look, we got y'all. This is a motivated bunch, man. Like they know they're young and dangerous. They want to get better. They want to put the league on those. These guys are bought in. They believe in the process. See, that is hard to do, man, because sometimes players don't buy in to rebuilds. Like, if you look at the 76ers, I don't think everybody bought in. I mean, as far as player personnel, they bought into what they're doing, man. This team knows what it is. They're underrated. They're hated on. The rest of the league likes to laugh at them. I mean, they don't consider them any real threat. But this is the thing, man. If you look at right now, yeah, I mean, come on, man. We won 17 games, but give them 2 to 3. Keep that same energy. I'm trying to tell you, this team is heading in the right direction, man. Keep that same energy in 2-3 years, man, and see if you're still sleeping on these whiz kids, man, because I'm trying to tell you the future is bright, man. So before we get into comments, AB, and a commercial break, anything else you want to cover before we move on, brother?
Again, it would be nice to get another win, as much wins as improvement as possible. But at the end of the day, just seeing the young guys ball out, keeping it close for at least somewhat of the game, it's good to see. And I just hope to see this is going to carry on in year 3 of this rebuild.
Amen, my brother. So we're going to move on to comments tonight, guys. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by DoorDash. NBA fans, get ready. They swish, you save. Thanks to Dash Pass, every time a player drops 50 or more points in the game, you score a huge deal the very next day. It's simple. When any player scores 50 or more points in a game during the 2024-2025 NBA regular season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order, up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. So I say it all the time, guys. Just getting home from work, don't feel like cooking, order DoorDash. If you've been drinking, smoking, don't want to leave the house, don't want to get yourself in trouble, DoorDash. If you just, man, in the movie for a cheeseburger, DoorDash, man. I'm trying to tell you guys, man. There's so many reasons, so many promotions that you should definitely not only rock with DoorDash, but sign up for the Dash Pass. So look, sign up for the Dash Pass and be ready to save now. When a player scores 50 or more in a game, Dash Pass members get 50% off in the order that very next day, up to $10 off. Good Lord. Just use promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight at the 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. Must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Oh, I lost my spot. Give me a second. Yep. Dash Pass. Woo, man, the ad kind of went funny on me a little bit. So, all right, let's get into comments, man. And like I said, definitely appreciate everybody taking time out of the night, man, to rock with us tonight, man. All right, so we're going to start it off like we always do, AB. It's hard to know what the Wizards have since they're intentionally playing their worst basketball. I'll let you respond, AB.
Love the optimism as always, locked on. I think, obviously, the Wizards, we want them to play in competitive games, but we also want to make sure they can solidify that top 3 pick. I get it, 14% chance from 3 of the teams. But at the end of the day, it just wouldn't make sense to play a lot of the guys like Jordan Poole. I know Bilal is out for the year, and Chris Middleton, Rashawn Holmes, because, again, you just want to see what we have in these young guys, and it's not really worthy to risk injury going to next season.
Yep, I agree 100%. Remember, Lay brings up a really good point, AB. If we land this top 3 pick like we're intending to do, we have the potential to have a top 5 young corners league. I agree 100%, man. Like I said, you can compare the roster construction to OKC, but I don't really compare them to the degree of during a different part of their process, man. So it's tough to really. But if you look at, like I said, like we kind of went over before, man, you see how they're constructed. It's very similar, very, very similar. Let's see. Godo Beard says, Dan Patrick said Wizards are like a timeout for Gil's Arenas. A lot of media, social media don't watch the Wizards at all. AB, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, unfortunately, I get it. The team's not winning. Why would you want to watch them? They're not getting a lot of national televised games. But if you're a real Wizards fan, you understand that this is a whole different regime, a whole different movement. There's actually youth. There's energy. The front office knows what they're doing. The coaching staff knows what they're doing. The players have an idea, an identity, and everyone's moving in sync. For so long here in DC, that hasn't been the theme. And it's going to take some time, but when that time comes, we're going to look back and say, hey, it was all worth it.
Oh, yeah, little man. It's all about the journey, right? It's all about the journey, man. Uptown Dre says, yo, my brothers, was good. We have some great nights. Then so, especially of the defensive end. But I think we're between 1 to 5 range in association with Youngstown and DC. I can rock with that. I mean, I can definitely rock with that, man. We're definitely in the conversation in the top 5. I mean, come on now. I mean, we got a heck of a young core. Let's see. Link says, I'd definitely rather be a Wizards fan than a Brooklyn or Charlotte fan. Out of those 3, we had the best situation. Now, I mean, Charlotte, then they got some talent, maybe. I mean, to Jean Salon, I like him. Brandon Miller, obviously. Let me ask you this, man. I may be the minority, but what is your thoughts on LaMelo Ball, man? Do you think he's a building block in Charlotte, or do you think that they need to trade him and build around Brandon Miller?
So this comment brings us back to the Austin Rivers comment, because he was saying that Cooper Flag should prefer to go to Charlotte rather than Washington, which to me is still absurd. Certified hater. But again, he wants to stay relevant, get the clicks. It is what it is. But again, LaMelo Ball really hasn't played a 50-plus game. I saw a stat of him being that healthy. So again, how much of that is on his shoes, the ankle injuries, whether it's just him as a player? I don't know. To me, like, I think you can make the argument that, I don't want to say stat padding, but if all those stats and then him being this great player, but if they're not winning, why can't we use that same? We use the same energy for Jordan Poole. Why can't we use the same energy for LaMelo Ball? I'm just saying. So
Thank you.
I think if LaMelo, great player, and I think he is the best guy of the Ball brothers, and Lonzo was a great player as well, just also was dealing with injuries, and Leandro was just too busy doing what he was doing in China. But I think I think LaMelo, I just don't know if he can win in Charlotte. And again, I think Charlotte just tainted by so much of what Michael Jordan did. I think they'll eventually get back to a winning mode, but I just don't know how long it will take. And if LaMelo Ball is going to be there, it's just a good question. And it's going to be interesting to see how he handles his future here over there in Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get too deep in Austin Rivers. I mean, he is what he is. He's like the most outspoken guy who's, I mean, he's always got something to say, man. He talks outside his neck. I'm just gonna say that. To me, it irks me when LaMelo Ball gets away with so much. I'm not gonna trash the young man. He can play. Look, LaMelo Ball is a baller. He is box office, but I mean, is he the guy you build around? Like I said, I'm not gonna get off non-Wizards topic, but why did people criticize Jordan Poole so much with shenanigans, man? When this guy is like peeling out of the arena, and he did, like, I believe he ran over a fan's foot. Like he just character. To me, character matters. When you look at Jordan Poole, I was watching JP last night, man. Shout out to JP13, man. This dude, every game, as far as games I cover, always takes time to go over there and sign autographs. He's always taking pictures with young fans. I mean, this guy is just the type of guy you want in the locker room. I mean, and that's just me, man. I mean, I take a guy like that over a guy running over a kid's foot. I'm just saying. This is me. Let's see, guys. Lock the Laws says the Thunder and the Wizards have nothing in common. Well, I mean, like I said before, I believe roster construction, but if you look at their stages, man, nah. I mean, but I think you guys kind of see what I'm going with it. John Hipkins was good, man. Gotta get you back on the show, brother. He says, I love how we are building for the future. If we could get the number 1 pick and get Cooper Flag, it'll help our rebuild in a major way. I think, top 3, each player who's in the top 3 right now can help this team go forward, man. I think all of them are box office. I think, Cooper Flag is that headliner. I get it, and he should be. But, I mean, Ace Bailey, kind of like when we did our interview with a Big Pooh, AB, when he made the comment that, he's kind of that clay where you molding. Ace Bailey's a guy you can mold. So, like I said, I think top 3, you cannot miss in this draft. You cannot miss, man. Let's see. Oh, man, we're getting a little testy in the comment section, so it's all good. We're going to knock out a couple more, everybody. Let's see. Uptown Dre was good, brother. He says, I would like for us to draft the center with our second first. Either Thomas Sober, J. Broom, or Kalkbrenner. 2 older center who could defend, rebound, and make the triple. Sober as well. I'm big on Sober. Now, I don't know. I got to look at I know he's out with an injury, man. He had a season in the injury, but all three I do agree with. But to me, Danny Wolf's my guy. I mean, he's Jokic 2.0 in my opinion. I mean, if we're in a position to grab Danny Wolf, you add that to Cooper Flag or even Dylan Harper, Ace Belly, this is going to be an A+ draft. What do you think, AB? You agree?
Yeah, no, definitely. I got to do more on Sober, but Danny Wolf's the guy where I'm watching March Madness. His ability to take the ball, like he moves like a guard at 7 foot. That's rare to find. I was gonna bring up the fact, I know we talked about it not too long ago, but the guy out of Colorado State, I know he's not a center, but with his experience, do you think he would be a nice guy to pick out in that late first round?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the late first round has talent, man. I mean, the last draft proved that, and it was considered a weak draft. We grabbed Keyshawn the 24th. I think that we could really capitalize in this draft, man. And this draft is deep. I mean, obviously, to me, in my eyes, the biggest positions of need is power forward, and you probably could add another center, even though, between Alex R and Tristan Vucevic, you could probably look at the same scenario as the guard situation with AJ Johnson, Bob Carrington, and Jordan Poole, that we could be good. But to me, I'm not against adding another 7-footer because Alex R and Vuk can both play the 4. So to add, you could have a taller lineup in the second unit. It really adds capabilities to your lineup, man. So I'm not against grabbing a guy like Danny Wolf, to be honest with you. But like you said, AB, there's a lot of talent in this draft. I mean, Sober, Sober, man, look, I'm kind of biased. I grew up a Hoyas fan. So, I mean, I always like adding Hoyas to the Wizards, man. Otto Porter, I believe, was the last Hoya we had, man. So, all right, guys, we're going to knock out one more comment. Let's see. And this is from SBH2345. If we land at 5, and I'm going to go ahead and answer that now, man. We're not going to land at 5. Right now, we are guaranteed top 3. So top 5 is not going to happen. But just for poops and giggles, let's see. If we land at 5 and Flag, Harper, Belly, and Edgecombe are gone, who do you guys want? Ooh, good question. AB, I'm going to let you take this one, man.
Oh, man. Thank God this isn't happening because this is just – I don't even want to think about it. But I think DQ, you pair him with Alex Sarr, I think they will be an interesting dynamic front court because at the end of the day, DQ bringing in the B-More kid, adding another B-More kid to the roster with his tenacity, 6'10", can put the ball on the floor. I mean, he did it in the under the bright lights in March Madness. So I think he checks off a lot of boxes the Wizards are looking for.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, man, if we, I mean, like I said, we're guaranteed top 3, but just for the sake of conversation, if we land top 5 and Flag, Harper, Belly, and Edgecombe are gone, I'm pulling some shenanigans. I'm trading back in. I'm grabbing Derek Queen and Trey Johnson. Say right now, we need scoring, and we need a guy that's going to pair with Alex Sarr, man. I get it with a guard standpoint, but I believe Trey Johnson, I got to pull up his scouting report, but I believe he can play small forward. So, but then again, that obviously you bring up, Bilal Coulibaly. So, like I said, it's going to be a little tricky to a certain degree, AB, when you look at the draft, because, when you look at certain positions like wing or 2 guard, man, it's going to conflict a little bit. If you add a wing and an Ace Bailey, in your eyes, what do the Wizards do with Bilal Coulibaly? You think he's ready for the 2 guard?
Oh, man. If he can take that offensive step, I think so. But again, it all depends on his development in year 3 offensively. I was going to bring up Walter Clayton. I don't know. Do you think you see potential with the Wizards might target him, or do you think that's off limits?
Honestly, I don't think anybody's off limits. I think that most prospects in this draft should be targeted, man, because I think we should definitely keep all our options open. A lot of people are saying Cooper Flag, but I don't believe that. Look, Cooper Flag is a generational talent. Don't get me wrong, but there is so much talent in this draft, man, where I think you have to trust the process. You have to trust your organization that regardless who they pick, it's going to be the right pick. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm at, is that I believe that with this front office, no matter who they pick, is going to be the right pick. I think they can be able to find a way to integrate them. If you go guard, and like I said, there's going to be hard decisions. Like I said, shout out to Big Pooh, man. When we interviewed him, and like I said, the video is going to drop tomorrow, but we'll let you guys know that. But kind of like we were talking with Big Pooh, man. You got to look at everybody, man. I mean, because there's a lot of capabilities. I mean, there's a lot of hard decisions, AB. Like Pooh mentioned, man, if you go Harper, then eventually you're probably going to trade somebody at guard, man. You go Bailey, you're going to have to move, Bilal to the 2 because you ain't going to bench him. So is he ready for 2 guard? With his size, he kind of reminds you of a Devin Vassell out of San Antonio, man. But Devin Vassell has that 3-point shot, so he's got to show some progression with that 3-point shot. The one position in need where it's clear cut, we need somebody there is power forward. So I'm with you, AB. I think that if it's all said and done, if you don't move back or try to get crafty, you've got to grab a power forward in this draft. You have to grab a power forward in this draft. So,
and the reason why we started to cut you one last thing, like why every Wizards fan should have so much confidence is because, again, we keep reiterating, they hit on every single young guy's path in a weak draft. So imagine what they're going to do in a much stronger draft.
Hey, I agree 100%, man. 100%. All right, this is going to be the last one, guys. Jean Vasconez. I think that's right. Just bear with me.
I love the pronunciation, B. I loved it.
I know, right? Got my Rosetta Stone on, bro. I'm just saying. It says they said I think Bub needs to be a starter next year too. You know what, AB? I agree. I think that I want to see a backcourt of Jordan Poole and Bub Carrington going forward. I think that both of them have proven that they can both be floor generals, and they've both proven that they can play off ball. I think there's a lot of potential in that backcourt. Now, we're both JP13 fans, and we definitely believe that he should be a long-term piece, but if the right deal comes along, what do you think about a potential backcourt of Harper and Carrington?
I love it. Again, it would suck to see JP13 gone, but see Bub take that step is what we want to see. But at the end of the day, all these guys that we have on this roster, I have full confidence they can definitely help us lead a championship here in DC.
I'm with you, man. And it goes back to this point right before we call it a night, y'all, is I think that whoever they get in this draft, the next draft after that, I think they're going to hit because, and I get it, the real work is about to start for Will Dawkins, man. But already, come on now. I mean, all 5 draft picks he has acquired, I mean, he's hit. So he's already shown that he can build through the draft. And he's made it known he's going to build through the draft and supplement through free agency. Sound like another GM, man. Sound like my guy Adam Peters over there, man, for the Commanders. So I'm just saying, build through the draft, supplement through free agency. That is the key. That is the vision. That is the blueprint, AB. So before we call it a night, man, anything else you want to cover?
Nah, man, it was a great day. The episode with the rapper Pooh was awesome. And now another great live stream. Wizards, man. Year 3 going to this rebuild. So offseason is about to be lit, about to make so much great content. It's going to be exciting.
I agree, man. I agree. Oh, real quick, AB. One real quick comment, real quick. Uptown Dre says use Ace Bailey at the 2 guard or interchange Brown Ace. I got love for you, brother, but I wouldn't put Ace to 2. 6'10". I think you got to utilize that size, man. 6'10". I don't think you really utilize that size. I think the question is for everybody, man, and for you, AB, real quick before we call it night. Could you consider Ace Bailey a candidate for power forward?
That's a good one too. I don't think because again the size. I don't think he's too small. I think he's got a perfect size. I think he's around the same height as Derek Queen. So I think it just goes back to what the Wizards want to do with this roster. And if they think utilizing him at the 4 will get him his maximum usage, then why not? But I think whatever position he's in, he'll thrive in.
Absolutely. And just to kind of give everybody some perspective real quick, I'm looking at a website from 2 years ago, okay? And this is when he first committed to Rutgers. Shout out to Joe Spears. This is through Rutgers website. And it says Ace Bailey, 2024 5-star power forward commits to Rutgers. So he went to Rutgers as a power forward. Now I think with his elusiveness, with his scoring prowess, they decided to put him at 2 guard and wing, man. But I think I'm kind of looking at him as, and Lockton Law kind of mentioned right here, man, as kind of a Kyle Kuzma, where he can play small forward and power forward. I think that, we need a power forward. We need scoring. Why not put Ace Bailey potentially at the 4? But like I said, we're going to wait till that happens. We're going to wait till if it happens. So, all right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. And like I said, tomorrow we are taking a night off. They are playing tomorrow night against the Chicago Bulls. We're going to go ahead and do a live recap on Saturday. So rock with us on Saturday. We're going to have the night off on tomorrow night. But we will be dropping our interview with rapper Big Pooh tomorrow, man. So definitely look out for that. We're going to drop it around 5 to 7 o'clock between those hours, man. So definitely recommend you guys rock with us, man. And he's going to put some information out with the Little Brother for all you old school hip hop heads like myself. Little Brother's the final tour, man. So definitely look out for that episode tomorrow. All right, everybody. Hail to the Wizards and peace.